What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host back, Amanda. Good to have you back. Good to have your voice back. And nice
Yeah,
throwback
yeah.
Packers jacket.
Yeah, we had to kick it old school. Just a quick shout out, lucky number 13. I had one game wrong this week in my picks.
There
Beautiful. The
you
lead is now 20, and it was by 1 point. I was 1 point wrong this week. So
go.
my little MVP trophy, Josh Allen and I can rock our MVPs together. Just had to quick brag on that one real quick. Now that Alex is 20 games behind.
How am I going to catch you if you're going, 13-1 or something? It's
Just
ridiculous.
oh.
What's up,
That
John
fucking Colts
Abraham?
game
Good
by
to have
1 point. That pisses me off. I
you.
would like if I make a wrong pick, I want to be like wrong, wrong, not like, oh, just one. That's fucking annoying. Like I'm gonna lose by 20, not 1 point. That pissed me
No,
off.
you don't understand, Alex. So it's probably about 12 o'clock at night, and somebody has never hit me up on Messenger. He's like, "R.I.P. Alex." I was like, "What?" I just talked to him. I said, "Look, you can't play like that. I'm black." He said, "He was like, am I lying, Amanda?" I was like, "No."
No, that's what you said. But to be fair, I sent a picture right away. I just think it took a second to
I
like
was
get to
like,
you.
"R.I.P." I was like, "Whoa, hey." All right, okay, we
If
good.
Alex died, like that's
I
like just
was
like
like,
RIP Alex. That's like the Facebook birthday posts that are just like HBD. Like no, like you get full
talk to
words.
him. I was like, "What the hell? Like, stop."
Alex has earned like a full like rest in peace. I'm not just gonna RIP him if he dies.
All right.
He's
Well, to
earned
be
some full
fair, I'm
words.
getting buried alive in the pick, so it works. John, good to have you back on the show. And man, another crazy week. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Football getting to the best time of year right now.
Yeah, I think everybody's, as long as we get another day, the older you get, the more you just like, I got another day passed. Everybody was happy, the kids had a good
Yeah.
time. My mom had a good time. So Thanksgiving was good for me. Football was football.
Oh,
Nothing amazing, like really, for Thanksgiving when it came to football. I was kind of bored, but it was good. It was sports.
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out Amanda for the Christmas present. Fire everyone. It fits because the Bears fire the head coach Matt Eberflus finally after Thanksgiving's debacle at the
Dude.
end of that
So
one.
what's funny is I like the Fire Eberflus shirts have been going around, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Chicago has this cycle where like every couple years we just got to clean house. So like you're always harping like every 2 to 3 years there's somebody who needs fired. So this one's timeless because until
Yeah.
Chicago changes ownership, they're going to be making bad decisions. So you're always going to be ready to fire somebody. So it's
Well,
perfect.
fire poles too, like clean house, get
It's on a
everyone out of
list.
here. Um, so yeah, lots of crazy football. And Amanda, what's up with the kickers this week? No one could make anything.
I don't know. They were too much turkey. They were tired. That tryptophan
Yeah,
got them tripping, I
tryptophan,
guess. I don't know.
yeah. John, let's get it started with Monday night. Broncos Browns, and we all expected this one, Denver, to take care of business and win this one easily, but the Browns actually led 32-31 in the fourth. They win 41-32, but a shootout in Denver and a fun game to watch.
I don't know. It wasn't really fun for me. I think the beginning of the game was good. We saw Jameis Winston actually be a poised quarterback. He
Yeah.
looks like he could possibly be a good quarterback one day. And it's kind of funny. I think if you got one guy that is taking advantage of the, I guess, the joking they do about him, with his speeches and stuff, and I think that's going to
Mhm.
be something for his career after football. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
he just kind of embracing it now. It's like people, because at first it was just like you a 30-30 guy, the only guy who did the 30-30. And now it's just like he's coming up with different speeches. They're micing him up because people want to hear the weird stuff he got to say. So it's almost his MO now. So, but I think the game was good. I think Bo Nix played well. I mean, I don't know, like it's hard to watch these teams because I don't see playoffs. Like I don't see like this year being their year. And
Yeah.
Jameis not being the guy, like next year, I think he probably gonna be with another team, but I don't know where he's gonna be able to start anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and Amanda, I mean, I've liked Jameis since college, and I've always thought he had a ton of arm talent, and we saw that on Monday night. But he also doesn't give a shit and will just rip it into triple, double coverage and throw a couple pick sixes last on Monday night as well.
Yeah, this game was wild. Like it's hilarious looking at these numbers. like 497 yards.
Yeah,
Like
Browns
having to explain that
franchise
he still
record.
lost that game after throwing
Yeah.
500 yards. Like that's insane. Like 4 touchdowns. No, but they lost though. Like
Mhm.
and Jerry Jeudy, I love the revenge story in this game. Like I don't think the Broncos ever used him properly. I feel like he was hated on there. I think that Denver is very much a personality space because like you look at what Russ has done since leaving and what Jerry Jeudy has done since leaving. I feel like Sean Payton is very like he's a big vibes guy. Like he has
Mhm.
to connect well with the players to, you know, for them to do well on the team. And some people are big on vibes. I'm like I don't think that affects their talent, but I love that Jerry was able to come into this game, his career best. Entering this game, he was 30th in receiving yards in the NFL. He left this game fifth.
Wow.
Oh.
He went off.
235 yards. He dropped 25 spots in the NFL ranking. Like, good for him. I love me a good like teammate coming back to the team that didn't you like Baker Mayfield beating the Browns, Jerry Jeudy beating the Broncos. I love that shit.
Yeah, John, how real is that going up against your former team, that motivation?
I think whenever you go against I've went. It's crazy because I think I'm one or two or three players that got a sack on every team. So I had to lead the team to get a sack on the other team. So it's like, like whenever I played the Jets, when I was with the Falcons, I said I gotta get a sack. I gotta get a sack. I ended up getting a sack. When I left Atlanta and went to the Cardinals, I was like, I gotta get a sack and gotta get a sack, and I ended up getting a sack. So I think it's more like people always try to play it down like it's really nothing, but you want to show the people like y'all missing me now. Like regardless of who they are or not, you always want to show your best thing and show like if I was still there, y'all might could have got this out of me. But sometimes I think a lot of times it helps players become the better player they could be leaving the team because you have so many, like I said, so many people don't understand the distraction of the off-field situation, having to come to work and don't want to go. Like I know they don't want me here. I'm sitting here practicing my butt off. I'm sitting here trying to play my butt off. I'm putting up numbers and I can't get a contract. I know I ain't going to be here. Like, why am I wasting my time? I hope I don't get hurt. It's just so much stuff to juggle. You wondering where you're going to be. So it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what you said about people underestimating how well you want to do against your old team, like if a girl breaks up with a guy, it doesn't matter that he was a scrub. She's still gonna look good if she's worried about bumping into him at a birthday party or a bar or something. Like you don't want him back. You just, you want him to know what he's missing. Like same thing happens in
Even if you don't
NFL.
win, you still want to like, I showed
still
out.
got 2 sacks.
Yeah.
I showed out. Yeah.
Nick Bonito with a nice game, records a sack and a pick six, his first career defensive touchdown, 11 sacks on the season. He's a nice young piece for that Broncos defense.
He's been quietly putting up some numbers. I've been watching him a little bit.
I think because we've been talking about both so much. We've been talking about both, but they whole defense, I mean, Denver's whole defense, I say next year and maybe the year after, they're going to be one of the defense you talk about for a long time. Like that Orange Crush is going to be coming back. Like losing Von Miller and losing a lot of key pieces in the last few years, like having these young guys, like Pat Surtain Jr., like all these guys are going to be like, think about 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to be like studs. You know what I mean? They're going to know everything about football then.
It's funny that in this game, the only things they did right were the pick sixes. This defense, they were awful. Like their average yards allowed were surpassed by the half of this game. Like coming into this game, they were 14th in third down percentage, 13th third in points allowed per game, number 1 in yards allowed per play. Where was that? 500 yards. Like
you
they
saying,
did not show up in this game, but they got a couple pick sixes and they won the game and their offense played.
You know how sometimes, like you were saying with a woman and her girlfriend, some stuff can cover it up. Like just because she might not have no chest, but she got a nice ass.
She got one of the Victoria's Secret water bras though.
Yeah, so hey, and they got the win, so they ain't a lot. Can't knock that.
Exactly. As a Bears fan, as a Bears fan, I know this well. That anytime the defense scores, that boosts your chance of winning like big time. Like it gives you a big boost. So 2 pick sixes, that was huge, and they won by 9. They improved to 8-5. heading into their bye week. I think the Broncos can get into the playoffs. We'll see what they do when they get there. But pretty impressive with the rookie quarterback. And everyone thought, Amanda, that Bo Nix was like the worst rookie quarterback in the class, but he's in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's been playing pretty well under Sean Payton.
He has, and I didn't like him in the draft. I mean, he was
Me
in
neither.
college for like 20
Yeah.
years. Like,
Yeah.
he looks like he's Zach Wilson's dad. If you look at a picture of them side by side, like, this man needs a skincare routine. He needs an eye cream. But like, I got to eat my words a little bit. I didn't like him in the draft. I questioned.
Shots, ain't you? He's throwing shots at the young man.
I'm just saying that dry Denver air. Listen, I'm going to Colorado in 3 weeks. That air is dry as hell. You have to moisturize, okay? Somebody needs to tell him, all right? Get some CeraVe cream. Like, he's looking old. I'm just saying he needs to take care of that skin. But no, I didn't love him in the draft, and I've been very impressed. He was very, I guess, say uneven in this game. I mean, 18 of 35, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like, this game had the weirdest stat lines.
Yeah.
Like, the team who won shouldn't have won. The team who lost, like, who has 500 yards of offense and loses a game? Like,
yeah, it was crazy, but it was fun. And the Broncos got the win. That's most important there. Let's go Sunday Night Football, where Amanda's Bills in a snowstorm take down the 49ers 35-10. And the Niners, I mean, nothing is going right for the 49ers. They lose both 2 running backs in this game, Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey. John, we talked about it a little bit. We were texting him, and Christian McCaffrey goes down and just kind of feels it and just pulls up and goes down. And you knew right then it can't be good, right?
Right. But I can say for the San Francisco team, it shows that they're not a tough team. I mean, being able to go into conditions and not even play. Like, I saw so many drop passes. I saw, even Kettles dropped a little quick screen to him, and it was like right in his hands. It was just like, I know it was cold conditions, but for your team just to, like I told Alex, I said the only highlight I've seen in this game was Debo return. The Debo had a kickoff return. That was the only thing I seen it good. But I saw a Buffalo team that was comfortable at home. And I think people don't realize how home conditions can really determine the game. Like, I remember when I played with the Jets, we used to hate going to Miami because it's so hot, and they always make you wear your dark jerseys, even though, like, Miami always wear their white jerseys, like home and away, home and away. You rarely even see them wear the powder blue. But it was just like, man, like, when I watched the game, I was just like, they should just hang it up. It just looks so bad. This season seems just because I told Alex, I think I told you, Amanda, too. Yeah. I think they're literally just wore out from the Super Bowl. I said both teams, Kansas City and San Francisco, is wore out, but Kansas City, that's why I said they're a better team, because they still find a way to win. And San Francisco is losing. Like, all these people are getting hurt. Like, that was a tough, like, and I even asked, is Purdy worth the money now? Because you want a great quarterback. You want a Tom Brady type guy. Even though you got injuries, you still have guys that are willing to stand up for you and willing to make plays. Guys that are still, like, if one man down, the next man got to be up. Like, you want a quarterback that want to make 30, 40 million a year. You still got to win without, like, your main guy. And like I said, that's why Brady was so special to me. Like, him and Drew Brees, those guys were, you can put anybody with Drew Brees and then you'll see them just like their numbers. Just, even with Peyton Manning, like a quarterback like Peyton Manning, every time he got a receiver, their numbers just changed. I said, those are the kind of quarterback that got people paid. And Purdy just, it's tough to watch San Francisco this year. It's just tough. Yeah.
After that fourth quarter, it just seemed like they wanted to forfeit the game. But watching this game, they had a lot more snow, but it felt very similar to watching Miami at Green Bay on Thursday. Like, they didn't want to be there. They were cold. Like, it's just, there was no heart in this game for those warm weather teams. And it kind of sucked too, because I like this 49ers team. I know they're beat to hell, but like, Christian McCaffrey is the heart and soul of that team, apparently, because as soon as this man goes down, that Madden curse, he had 2 Madden covers. He's had 2 big injuries this season. It nipped him good. So that's a really disappointing end to I feel like their window is closing. I feel like I really wanted a 49ers win with this team, and it just kind of seems like they haven't been able to pull it together. And I don't see him having more shots beyond maybe next year, and then that's it for me.
Yeah, and you can't say they're a good 5-17. You know, you sometimes you say, oh, that's a good 5-17, but they're just
Yeah.
missing this and missing that. No, y'all look like hopefully next year they'll come back super refreshed, take a long off season. You know, Trent Williams come back because he said he's talking to LeBron now, so he's trying to play till he's 40 something. So hopefully they come back next year. Like I was telling Alex, Alex was like, what do you think about? I said, man, I think his body's telling him he needs some time off. Like Christian McCaffrey, his body is telling him, like, look, bro,
Yeah, shut it down.
this year is done, man. Like,
Yeah.
we understand you want to play, but we don't need you no more this year. I've had instances where my body was kept telling me I'm in my toe, my groin, then I broke my thumb, then I think I got poked in the eye. It was just like the whole year when I got there. My first year in Atlanta, they was telling me like, dude, you're not gonna have a year this year, bro. I don't care what you think, you're done.
Yeah, and the Amanda, it was 21-3, and they got that big Debo return. The Niners get down to the 1-yard line, and Kyle Juszczyk, usually reliable,
I
fumbles
know.
at the
I don't think
one.
I've seen Juice have like slip up like
Yeah.
that. Like, he is good, good and steady for them all the time. I was surprised.
Yeah.
It's plays like that that just take all the wind out of your sails. Like 1 yard, giving up the ball on the 1 yard line. Green Bay did it twice against a couple 2-3 weeks ago. Green Bay had 2 1-yard turnover on
Against the
down
Bears.
and a
Against
pick.
the
Was it the
Bears.
Bears? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that barely squeaked by. Like that sucks. Like at that point, like no, fuck this. Like it's hard to stay in it mentally after that. Like being that close to like getting in the swing of things and just giving the ball away. But I mean, in this game, we have to talk about Josh Allen. Like that was an
Yeah.
MVP performance by him. Their defense played great. I mean,
We can't say every win is the MVP, Scout. Y'all always keep saying
no, but this one was. I mean,
not against San
I'm sorry,
Francisco
my
in the
man,
snow.
my man did
Not
what?
against San Francisco in the snow. I can't give him that. It's San Francisco in the snow. And if that play wouldn't have worked when old boy just happened to throw it to him, it
His
worked. It
lateral.
was a good play. Yeah, but I'm like, we can't give him MVP every game. This is a bad San Francisco team. I cannot give him MVP. He played how
Okay, he threw the ball, caught the ball, ran the ball.
I don't care. This was not.
Oh.
This was a child's game. Like anybody
We had fun.
you could have came in there and scored on San Francisco. How they was playing. You could have came in.
Yeah, but I couldn't have thrown the ball,
Don't give
caught
her
it
too much
myself,
credit,
ran
Josh.
it
He would
in.
have fumbled at the one. We know. All right.
I got that.
Real quick,
Shut up.
Amanda, this might piss Amanda off a little bit, but I'm going to say it anyways. That Josh Allen touchdown where they flipped the ball back to him.
I know the play should have been called dead.
Yeah. What are we doing?
I know.
So player
like, hey,
safety.
Talk about
you
things
can't
that you think
body
are going to piss me
slam,
off.
dude.
Dez caught it. First of all, let me just clear that up. Dez caught it, fumbled it in the end zone for a recovery. It should have been a touchdown. Green Bay would have still won the game. That play should have been dead. Like I'm not.
Where are the refs at there though? Come
I'm
on
very
now.
logical. I understand what should have happened. It was still cool as shit because it didn't happen. So.
But John, me and Amanda were talking about it this offseason, how we expected the Bills to kind of take a step back, getting rid of Diggs, Gabe Davis, a lot of pieces. They're
they
two
didn't bring
starting
anyone
safeties.
in.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about Purdy. When I was just talking about Purdy, what you said will straight interlink in that if you're going to be a great quarterback, losing a receiver can't be the reason why your team goes down. Because if you're the guy, you got the other guys got to step up around. Like Buffalo. To Amanda's credit, he is playing MVP football. I just can't give him a game because San Francisco just looked so bad that he played up to par. Now, if they had no snow, I would love to see how the game would have ended up.
Yeah.
He is playing like that, but Purdy is playing totally different. He don't have anybody. Yeah. And when you get a chance to not have anybody, that's when you really got to shine. That's when you got to dink and dunk. That's when you got to keep your team into a game. And I just didn't see that. I don't see that in him in this season. I mean, when everybody was healthy, they got their little 5 wins, but the losses are just, it's not like one possession losses. It's like y'all are not. Yeah, it's like it's not playing, but and we keep blaming it on Debo not being there, Christian not being there, a lineman being hurt, or somebody else being hurt. They were out. They were out with the receiver Ayuk for the whole year, and we the first week. So you had to adjust right then, and I just don't see the adjustment now. They don't look like a good 5-17.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. I think you look at how different quarterbacks have done without their top weapons. Like Baker Mayfield, they lost their two top receivers for a couple weeks there. There was a game where Baker Mayfield on one run, he ran it himself the whole game because he had no one to throw it to. He shook off 8 different tackles and ran in a touchdown. Like what I
Yeah.
was trying to say, I don't think the full game was MVP performance for Josh Allen, but I have not seen him run that fast or accelerate
Situation.
that quickly in a game. Like he's a tall, lanky guy. He's not graceful. Like Josh Allen has never been graceful. But that run to the end zone, like he accelerated from 9.7 miles to 16.6 in 1.8 seconds. For that man, he was winded afterwards. That's what I mean. He
Situational
was
sports.
crying.
Situational sports.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, you're 100% right though. Josh Allen is probably the MVP favorite right now. Him and Saquon, I would say, and we'll see. It's
If it's gonna be a running
Saquon,
back, it's so hard to pick one of the two.
Saquon, yeah,
I know,
running
but like
back.
they're so close.
No,
Yeah,
think about Philly at the beginning of the year before Saquon started really playing.
2-2.
AJ Brown
Yeah.
came back. It's not about Saquon. It's AJ
I'm
Brown.
saying, no, man, you
Yeah.
hit it dead on the head. But I'm saying, but how he emerged.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been
So
balling.
because I remember the beginning of the year, we was just like, oh man, they ain't. Oh, this team is like the Phillies gonna be terrible this year. They was on Hurts ass so bad. So
Yeah,
think about how much pressure he took off Hurts. Hurts
yeah.
just be like chilling now. Hurts just hand the ball off and be smiling every time he score. He be like, "I'll leave me the fuck alone."
So who do y'all have for comeback player of the year?
Who got hurt last year? I'm getting to Aaron Rodgers. No, I'm joking.
Let's not do that.
It could be no shit. I would say Kirk Cousins, but he
got his ass booked. Like,
yeah, he looked so bad
4
this week.
picks.
Damn, who is a possible comeback player? I don't even know who else was out there.
That's my point is if we're giving it to a running back because of how well they're doing with their new team, like I could see that. But
Yeah.
it's so hard. If there was one running back who was so far ahead in numbers, I feel like it would be easier to convince people because it's really hard to get a running back chosen for MVP.
If he breaks 2,000,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if he breaks 20, and 2,000 is going to be tough because people are going to be like really try to man up for the run now since they know he's close.
Mhm.
But if he gets the 2,000 mark, it's really hard to not say, and especially if they get deep in the playoffs. I know it's before the playoffs and all that stuff, but you thinking about an MVP. I don't see why they don't give MVP to after the season, like during the season. I understand it's the seasonal award, but I'm like sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it so far. I mean, I know Josh is doing his thing, and I don't know. Maybe they be co-MVPs. I don't know.
I think Buffalo would rather have a Super Bowl trophy.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'll trade you. Saquon wins MVP. Give Josh a Super Bowl ring.
Please, I would love that. I need to get me a 90s Bills jacket to rock if they make it to the Super Bowl.
So we're talking Eagles, so let's transition.
We're talking running backs. Let's Eagles.
Yeah, running back. Game of the week, Eagles Ravens, the most hyped game of the weekend. And really the Ravens jump out to a 9-0 lead, but the Eagles dominated after that. They're up 24-12. They win 24-19 on a little, garbage touchdown at the end that didn't really matter. But John, we've been talking about it all year. They're now 9-0 when AJ Brown plays, and on top of that, it's easy to fall in love with Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley. That defense is crazy. Jalen Carter is balling out. The two rookie corners. That team is talented.
Yeah, but I think it definitely was just a matchup between running backs that everybody wanted to see. We didn't really care about quarterbacks. We didn't care about. I think it's the first time this year we didn't really want to talk about Lamar Jackson. Even though we had Jackson Hurts, but everybody was really wanting to see. Because it's so close in the rushing race, and it's two older guys that really are not. They really are not old, but it's two guys that are resurging from new teams. And I know for me personally, I was hoping to see that 22 got a little bit more yards and they made it a little closer. But Saquon came and showed what kind of running back he is. He's showing that he's having that year. But I think that, like you said, the defense is playing well. I liked feeling when they played Atlanta early in the year, even though I said when AJ come back, it's going to be different. And and I think Saquon has gotten more comfortable because you have a dual threat now. We know we can throw the ball deep and we know we can run the ball. Because because you see a lot of these big runs are the safeties and the corners coming up trying to like, looking for AJ or something like that, and they just leaving it wide open in the middle, and he's just taking off.
Amanda, we talked about kickers when we opened up. Justin Tucker, he continuing to struggle.
Wow.
So the Ravens have lost total combined points in their 5 losses this season by 22 points. Guess how many points Justin Tucker has missed in those 5 losses?
21.
22.
Yeah.
So he's the opposite of AJ Brown. If Justin Tucker is missing field goals, we're losing the game.
Do you think he can turn it on come playoff time though? He's done it before.
I hope so. I love him. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like Aaron Rodgers' career going to shit. Like we've had enough of him. I have not had enough Justin Tucker. Like I want him for comeback player of the year next year. I don't want this to be his last season. I want him to go out on a high note. I want him to have his Ray Lewis ending. Like, hey, I'm going to retire this year, go out on top. I think the coaching staff supports him. They're still standing by him. Hey, he's had off games. We're still backing him. I think he would bounce back in the postseason. My favorite part of this game, though, Cooper DeJean on Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that was crazy. The little rookie corner
so
with that hit.
Fucking good. That third down stop. He rocked Derrick Henry, man. Like
he lifted him off the ground. That was crazy.
We should have picked him up on the Packers. I think we fucked up with our Jordan Morgan pick in round 1. We should have taken him. He's so good.
You think a lot of kickers are going to get a lot of leeway this year because it's like literally the whole NFL. It's not just like
it's everyone.
It's everyone. I was saying, they're getting leeway kind of like running backs. You remember like a couple of years ago they were saying running backs weren't doing anything. Running backs aren't important, and the kickers are just having one of those years like the running backs did.
Well, obviously we have to give them leeway because we're seeing how shitty all the other kickers are doing. Like, who are you going to bring in?
Yeah. Everyone's missing. Like throughout the
everyone
league.
sucks this year.
Yeah. Jake Moody in the Bills-Niners game missed 2 or 3 kicks. So
3. Yeah. Everyone's having it like both of the Carlson brothers. Like I thought Daniel Carlson was actually Anders Carlson in disguise this week. Like nobody's in it. Like you can't bring in anyone else unless you're going to the XFL or something. Like
hey, Cody Parkey's available and he would fit right in right now.
Alex's boyfriend, Cody Parkey. He's obsessed with
no, fuck that guy. No boyfriend for Alex. No.
Jabs at you, bro.
He brings them up all the time. Last year was Robbie Gould. Every time a kicker missed for the Packers last year, it was like, oh, Robbie Gould. No, shush.
Yeah. Robbie Gould is the guy.
Robbie Gould is retired. He's done.
How about John? Bucks at Panthers in the NFC South. This game came down to overtime. The Bucks even missed a kick in overtime, but were able to get it done. Carolina almost stole this one. Now the Bucks have clawed back into a tie with the Falcons. Thank God for that sweep. Atlanta's still got the lead over them. How are you feeling about that Falcons-Bucks race atop the South?
I'm not really worrying about it. Like I'm really worried more about how the Falcons are going to finish the season. I think the Bucks are playing exceptionally well. I think Carolina is playing probably the best.
Better.
I think the best thing that Carolina did was to sit the quarterback and give him the opportunity just to say fuck it, as we said earlier. I'm not saying he's playing like the fuck it now. His confidence is there, bro. He's playing like he's laughing, he's having fun. He's not really worrying about like what my play is or what this is. He's trying to get to Leggett. He's trying to get to Thielen. He's doing things. And the outfits they had almost 5 too. I gotta give Carolina credit. Them, like I ain't never really liked Carolina colors. That black and blue, they did their thing on the outfit. They say you look good, and they did look good. But I think that because I know for me personally, I thought it's done for him. Like he's a terrible quarterback. But now he came back and showed everybody like I was worth the money and I was worth the first pick. But this year ain't gonna be the year. But I think next year when they get a really solid running game and hopefully they get a good tackle and get a good line for him and they see what he can do now. They see what he's comfortable doing now. So you get that and next year will be good from Tampa. I don't give a damn about Tampa. I'm still a Falcon, so I don't give a damn about Tampa.
I will shout out Tampa. I have to say, so it's funny to me, the Panthers and the Vikings are very much the same team to me. Like you look at the talent on that team or lack thereof, like, but the Vikings are just like accidentally winning games. Like they don't have like they're not that good. They just like, oh, like they're just some kids fucking around on the field. Like they're not,
Kansas City.
they don't care. Like the Vikings have like fallen into 9-2. Meanwhile, like the Detroit Lions over here with 11 wins, like they're scrappy, like they're formidable. Like how you only have two more wins than them? Like
Oh,
what is
one
happening?
thing,
Well,
I can say about Tampa, though, I do hope they feed Mike Evans the last few games because I want to see him get 1,000 yards and continue the streak that he had for every year. I think I said that. I think I said it to you, Alex. I really want to see
yeah.
him continue. Like, I think they
Yeah.
got 5 games left. I want them to really just. I think he's right at 500 or a little over
Mhm.
500 now. So I hope they make it like they go in the locker room and say, look, we don't give a damn about winning no more because
Yeah.
we might not do this, but we're gonna get him his 1,000 yards. So I hope that that's something that they really feed on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And how about rookie running back Bucky Irving, Amanda? He's coming on as well.
I like him. I mean,
Yeah.
Baker was having a kind of tough game there until Bucky started popping off.
Yeah.
The run, like they forgot the run in the first quarter, which we're used to the Bucks doing. But once they got it going, I mean, 13 touches in the fourth quarter and overtime. He finished with his season high 24 rushes. The most he ever had in college was 22 in a game. So I think
Yeah.
it's a good fit for him. I do like that they're remembering that they have a run game. And I do think Bucky Irving is kind of a perfect fit for the Buccaneers. I feel like there's so much fun play on words they can do with that. Like the marketing options are just fantastic. So I hope he's a good producer for them. But shout out to that Bucks defense in overtime because we have seen Carolina almost beat the Chiefs,
Yeah.
almost beat Tampa
They
Bay
were about
Buccaneers.
to.
Like
And that fumble, a strip fumble.
Carolina is trying to spoil some shit right now.
Yeah, they're playing good football.
Yeah, they're playing almost good football.
Pretty good for Carolina.
For Carolina, I'm very impressed. But let's not say good because like their record speaks for itself. But I'm just so sick of the NFC South division. Like this entire division is 500 or under. Like,
I kind of like it. It's fun.
ugh, I'm just it's like no one wants to win. And I said this last year too. Like nobody wants this division. Like everyone wants to lose. They're fighting over last place. Like it irks me.
Let's go Rams Saints. The Saints come in on a 2-game winning streak. Darren Rizzi, the interim head coach, had him 2-0 since he had taken over, and you were wondering if maybe they could get on a roll. If they had won this game, the Saints would just be 1 game back in the NFC South. But John, the Rams find a way to win 21-14, and to add insult to injury, Taysom Hill done for the year with a torn ACL. So not good for the Saints.
All right, I feel just bad for Taysom because he's a great player, and you put him in so many good positions to try to help your team win, and him not being there, I think it had a lot to do with them losing. I'm not sold on the Rams. I mean, I don't see how the Falcons lost, man. It's just like I don't see a spectacular team, but I see a team that's winning, and I guess. I don't know, man. I can't really see anything amazing in this team. Like they played the Saints, and the Saints so up and down. Like the Saints, beginning of the year, we thought the Saints was going to be the new, I guess the new the old Rams from back in the day, like the
show on turf,
greatest show on turf, and now they're just like I don't know what we get, man. I don't know. I can't. I don't even know what to say about this game.
Now they're the Aints again, right?
Man, like I don't know, bro.
They do. I like the Rams, so they drafted well. They got Cameron Kinchins is doing all right, the rookie safety, and then Braden Fisk, who went to high school like 30 minutes from here. He's been great, and Jared Verse. I don't know why Jared Verse fell. He was a monster at Florida State.
I was yelling during the draft. I don't understand why he dropped so low.
Yeah, but. I agree. If the Rams can sneak into the playoffs, the NFC West is wide open too, Amanda. You talk about the NFC South. The NFC West is just as bad, really.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, we're talking about the Rams playing well. They're at 500. The Cardinals are at 500. Seattle's at 7-5. Like, that division is up for grabs. It's the NFC is so close as a whole. Like, you've got the NFC North taking the first 2 wild card spots right now, but Washington's a game back, and Seattle/Arizona/LA is 1 game back from that. Like it's close. It's going to be scrappy at the end.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we'll see if the Rams do sneak into the playoffs. Maybe they could upset someone. I would love to see the Rams play the Lions again. I just feel like they could steal that one. Stafford, they played them tough twice. They almost beat them earlier this year. They almost beat them in the playoff game.
Almost.
The Bears almost beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. Almost.
Yeah, so almost, but they never quite sealed the deal. So, I don't.
All you need is a patented Goff pick six. That's all you need.
Did anyone? I don't know if anyone else noticed this or cared. Matt Stafford used play action on 50% of his dropbacks in this game. It's his most he's ever used. I'm intrigued by what, like, if they were trying something, like what.
Yeah, they were trying something.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what the goal was, because like it's not like he's like a first, second year like situation. Like Stafford's been in the league forever, but that's the most he's ever done. So I'm intrigued what was going on behind the scenes there.
Might have got bored.
People
get bored.
They're like, we got this shit in the bag. Let's fiddle around a little bit.
Get bored.
Yeah. We're gonna spend some time on this game, so let's move to Texans at Jags. Good win for the Texans to improve to 8-5, but everyone's talking about the Azeez Al-Shaair hit on Trevor Lawrence, and there's been a lot of back and forth. Tom Brady talked about it, Richard Sherman, Joe Thomas, the former Browns left tackle. John, me and you texted about this. I feel like, of course, you don't want to see this hit, right? Because it's a bad concussion for Trevor Lawrence. But also, at the same time, it was a late slide. And what it does is this opens the conversation for a lot of talk about, is it the defense's job, the defender's job to protect the offense's player, or do we need to be spending more time teaching the quarterback how to protect himself in these situations? What do you think on that, John?
Well, personally, you know what I told you. I said they're going to start have the fair catch, almost like fair catch, fair slide.
Wave and then slide,
yeah. Slide, or they're going to have to touch their chest, like letting they know they're going to slide. Like, I think the end of the day is like football. I can see 20 years from now, football is damn near going to be like touch football, because if you're telling a quarterback, and like I think a good thing I heard is that it's hard you want a guy to play, and you have so many people like Mahomes faking like they slide, and
tiptoeing down the sideline.
You got three options. You got somebody he's going to slide, he's going to run over you, or he's going to juke you. And
Trevor Lawrence is a big dude.
Yeah, and you telling me I gotta ease up, like, and I can't really tell. Like, I don't know if he's gonna truck me, and it's almost to the first down. And being a player, that they're making it so weird for defensive players, because I know, like, I remember one time when I was playing, and they told us we couldn't throw the quarterbacks down. And I remember I missed a couple of sacks because I'll grab him and I'll spin him around, and he'll still throw the ball away. Because I was scared. I was scared literally to throw the quarterback down the ground because I didn't want to get a rough in the passer. And I was just like, this is terrible. Like this is football. So this makes no sense. I beat the tackle so perfect. Grabbed the quarterback around the race. I didn't go for his arm because I didn't want a penalty, because they were throwing penalties like if you went for their arm, but it was like, personal foul, going for the arm. I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to do, dumbass. But I'm like, so I went around the waist, and it was a San Francisco game. I would have had like 134 sacks now instead of 133. But I'm saying that stuff like
somebody's not bitter. Don't worry.
No, because think about it, like you're gonna see Mahomes use this to his advantage. He's gonna start slowing down. Yeah. He'll slow down like he's gonna do it, and he'll take off again. You're gonna start seeing all these. Only person you don't worry about sliding is like Jackson. Like when you see Jackson out of the pocket, he's trying to score. He rarely slides. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough thing to put any kind of defensive player in that kind of role, because you want to protect the quarterback, because we don't literally want to hurt a quarterback. But if you're a runner, we want to knock the shit out you.
Yeah, especially at the first down line.
If you're a runner, you do not want to get ran over by a quarterback.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to ease up, and I'm watching it so much, I see when the quarterbacks are running close to the sidelines now, they're stretching out for that extra yard because they know the people are like stopping and stuff like that, and it puts people in messed up binds, and then you getting cursed out in the film, like why you didn't push him out, or why you didn't hit him, or why you didn't do this. Like, dude, that's why. Like, I don't even know how to play football no more.
Yeah, Amanda, we talked about the Chiefs win over the Panthers, how they almost stole that one. In that game, at the end when Mahomes ran to get him into field goal range, he gets to the sideline and the defenders pull up and he goes right between them. And it's like, bro, like the NFL needs to step in and do something about this because it's bad.
Well, and we talked a little bit about what Tom Brady was saying about how everything is on the defensive players. Like there's a reason so many quarterbacks have such a short tenure in the NFL these days is that quarterbacks are no longer being taught how to condition their bodies for a hit, how to be hit. Everything is on the defensive players to not hurt them.
Yeah.
But back in the day, there was so much more focus on this is how you take a hit. This is how you slide safely. This is how you position your body if you want to like run into someone kind of thing. And they're not doing that anymore. And where was he supposed to move his body to? Like his reaction to the NFL continuing with his suspension, he was like, if you want me to be your villain, I'll be your villain. Like, and I love that the coaching staff is fully supporting him. They said that the image being painted about his persona is bullshit. And I love that they
I love that
passion to curse during that. But I just there's only so much you can do to shift a 200+ pound body midair into a different position. Like, where else was he supposed to go? Like, this isn't fucking Harry Potter. We can't just apparate to a different part of the field.
To me, the key part of that was the first down line. If Lawrence slides 2 or 3 yards earlier, there's no hit. But the fact that he waited until the first down line to do it, slid late, you're going to get hit because the defenders are taught to protect. I mean, you're not just going to give up a first down. And, yeah, we've seen this with Mahomes over and over. It goes back to Kenny Pickett in college with the fake slide. And then, so the NFL needs to step in and figure this out instead of punishing defenders for trying to do their job. They're making it almost impossible to do your job. So,
yeah, you got to make it a slide.
What's that?
I said you got to make it an obvious slide. Like I said, you're going to have to do the fair slide.
I don't hate the fair slide thing. Like, give them 2 yards from where they said that their fair slide was going to be. They do a helmet tap, shoot a flare up, whatever it's going to be.
Shoot a flare.
have a little flare, a little light on their jersey.
Like I said, like it just for me, it just shows how soft football is getting. I think it's definitely going to extend people's careers. I know that's a good thing that I could say. Like when I first got in the league, we had 2-a-days and we had pad pads. We couldn't really hit the quarterbacks, but we used to get close to them. And but then you can't hit them around the legs. So if you go low, that was a penalty. You can't run around the head. Okay, that's a penalty. You can't go for their arm like that. That's a penalty. I'm looking like shit. I just got to be perfect.
Yeah, what can I do, right? Do I need to ask his permission first?
Yeah, it's going to be 7-on-7 out there in a minute.
Have they announced what's happening with Trevor Lawrence? I know he needs surgery on his AC joint.
They're shutting him down. They put him on an IR today.
Is he officially on IR? Okay.
Yeah, and he's not going to play anymore. The team's got 2 wins, So
well, I figured they would. I just wasn't sure if it was official yet.
Yeah. I just saw it was like 2 hours ago they announced that. So.
Yeah, I saw the surgery update this morning on that AC joint, I think.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. We like Trevor Lawrence, but that team isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. And
so how y'all feel about Mac Jones, though? Mac Jones played well. I mean,
he plays fine, but there's not enough games left in the season for them to get to 500.
But I mean, he played. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Mac Jones. Well, let's give Mac Jones a little credit.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just statistically looking at the record, they're already eliminated. That's what I'm saying.
Mac Jones. I'm talking about
Mac Jones.
You keep talking about you talking about the Jaguars. I'm talking about Mac Jones. Came in and played well. No turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Come on, man, give him a little credit. So you all up on the Buffalo Bills booty, but you can't give Mac Jones no credit.
He can have all the credit he wants. The team's still fucking eliminated from the postseason.
I'm talking about Mac Jones. He's a backup quarterback looking for a job next year. So if he has a good rest of the year. He has a good rest of the year. You never know. He can go somebody else and get a good little contract. So Mac Jones, shout out to you, Mac Jones, for picking up the slack.
Congratulations.
I think he's found his role, which is a good backup. I don't think he's an NFL starter, but he's a solid backup that can.
We see the same thing about Geno Smith, and Geno Smith is leading the Seattle Seahawks right now. So
Geno's the baller.
Might not be good now, but Mac Jones might be a Andy Dalton or somebody. You never know. He might just sit.
Where's Andy Dalton starting right now?
I don't know.
He's old though. He's old. He's backing up Bryce Young.
I'm trying to give him credit, man. I'm
My
trying to
point
throw
is
him
he's a
in there.
backup. That was my whole point. Mhm.
Mac Jones is gonna be all right.
Amanda's just a hater, John. You have to. You're learning it.
I'm a hater.
Listen, I
I
don't
don't
like
care about
quarterbacks
Mac.
out of the New York area unless it's Josh Allen.
She's very
Them's
protective
the
of
rules.
her
Fuck Tom
boy.
Brady. Fuck Mac Jones. I'm just kidding.
Amanda, you said the Titans were gonna roll into Washington and beat the Commanders on Sunday.
We already know
Boy,
I only
were
had one
you
pick
wrong.
wrong, and that ain't it. So we know that's bullshit.
42 points. I thought the Titans defense was good. What happened, Amanda?
I thought they had a couple good showings, but this kind of went exactly as we pictured. Like we knew the Commanders needed
Yeah.
a good bounce back game. They were getting a little embarrassed, looking a little shaky. Like the last month, like I feel like everyone was talking about like, oh yeah, they had some good games, but I don't think they're ready for the postseason. So this was their bounce back game. We talked about how the Commanders needed this game to kind of get right and like reset after a couple interesting performances. But this is what we saw from the Commanders the rest of the season. After their 3-game losing streak, this is exactly what I expected. And the Titans are not good. They're clumsy. They're a fumbly team. Nobody on that team has hands. I mean, what were their first 4 possessions of the game? Punt, punt, fumble, fumble.
Not great. This Commanders team, John. So the Commanders, I think they're gonna finish. They're gonna find a way into the playoffs, and
lose in
Cliff
the first round.
Kingsbury is gonna get head coaching opportunities because he had success with the rookie quarterback. And the Bears fans are talking about this. Let me go on a mini rant here for a second. Bears fans are on Twitter talking about they want to hire Kellen Moore as head coach, talking about they want to hire Cliff Kingsbury. They want to promote Thomas Brown, who's getting his first opportunity as offensive play caller. And then a report comes out that Bill Belichick might be interested in the Bears job. And Bears fans are like, no, we don't want that old guy here. Get Bill Belichick out of here, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell do Bears fans think they are to not want Bill Belichick as a head coach? We've gone through Nagy and Eberflus and Tressman, and they don't want Bill Belichick. John, what's wrong with these Bears fans?
I know if they get Belichick, that'll be the new Mike Ditka, man. That'll be the new Mike Ditka.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I
want either him or Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
I don't want Vrabel to be there. I think Vrabel might end up with the Jets, but I don't see Vrabel being the guy that. Now, when you say Belichick, I can see Belichick because the fans talking all that trash, but that's just out of respect. That's more out of respect than it is about hate. Like, shoot, Belichick coming there, they'll be happy as hell. People would come in there.
Would.
Going there with the cut off sleeves and everything.
In the cold, yeah.
I love the cutoff sweatshirt look.
Yeah, you would have another icon that you can talk about in Chicago again. I think that'll bring the city back. Like I tell people in Atlanta, we don't got no iconic shit going on. Like the players are so boring to watch. And think about it. And I like Kirk Cousins. Don't get it.
I was gonna say Kirk Cousins is fun. Not this week.
I mean,
Penix though. Penix could bring that.
And all we got to celebrate is Kirk Cousins doing the swag and surf is terrible.
I want. You
and
like that?
They already said they said Kurt is not our cousin anymore. Like they're talking so much trash about Kurt. And I'm like, man, like my nephew hit me up on Facebook. He was just like, man, they need to go and put Penix in, man. I'm like, look, man. I said, y'all got hypnotized by the swag and stuff.
Kirk Cousins put raisins in his potato salad, and they're over him.
Hey, I like Kurt. He's a great guy. Kurt is like a Matt Ryan. These guys, off the field, they're great guys.
Yeah.
But if you're losing, and you can have a good time, but if you're losing in Atlanta, it's like, what the F are y'all doing? And I said this at before their bye week. I said they need to stay at home. They don't need to be going to do those TV shows. They need to focus on. And the person that needed to focus the most was doing the most. You know, you talking about going to the movies and doing all this other stuff. And he going to LA, going to the NFL, whatever show he was on. But I'm like, dude, this is the kind of stuff. If you're the leader of that team, you the one that got to stay at home. You the one that don't need to be in public. Like, you don't need to be talking on TV. You don't need to be doing no press conference. Like, look, I am Kirk Cousins. This is my team. Like, and then come out and just stink it up. Like I ain't seen that was some bad football. I'm sorry. I know we ain't talking about the Falcons yet, but
let's transition to that game. Let's talk about it because Kirk Cousins was bad. What, 4 interceptions?
He looked flat all the way around. Like
that pick 6 was terrible.
But you don't understand that they should have won this game. Like
Yeah.
even at the game, I'm watching the game at the end. I said they still gonna win this game. I said as horrible as they played, they still gonna win this game. And I think Koo missed the field goal also. So it was just like 17-13, 3 picks down. I'm looking, and Maria was like, "Well, John, something tell me we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna find a way." I said they're gonna win the game. I said they're still gonna win the game. I was like, he threw another pick, and it's a red zone pick, so it's reminding you of Ritter. Like he don't throw red zone. He threw one pick. He could have ran it in. He threw it like
he was like not running.
Like he ain't even trying to throw it hard. He threw it like a gum
floaters.
I asked Alex, I was like, was this in slow-mo? I don't understand what happened. Like it was just a duck. Like Peyton Manning's spirit was haunting him.
The pick six was probably the worst out throw I ever seen in my life.
Right.
It was like, I know you see that guy coming. Like it was, I don't know.
That ball was in the air for 5 minutes.
I could have picked that one. Yeah.
My 4-year-old throws a football harder than that. The fuck was that?
Oh man. But I think everybody else on the team played well though. The Falcons had their best outing on the defense. Like they had like 6 sacks. I'm looking like I was watching the game like, damn, they don't need John Abraham no more. But I was like, this is what they needed, and like it's like they always have one part just not showing up. But this time the whole team showed up, but one player didn't.
Okay,
like, when Koo didn't show up and he missed them field goals, and now you have Kirk didn't show up. I'm like, but Kirk didn't show up at all. It was just like I don't know what the hell. And I don't want to trash.
You know who Atlanta plays next week though? I expect a bounce back game. Going to Minnesota. You don't think Kirk's going to be feisty about that one?
Maybe he was looking past them.
The only problem I have with Atlanta is that the defense is not going to give you 5-6 sacks every week.
Yeah.
If you looked at the San Diego Chargers, that dude held the ball, and they held the ball because the DBs are playing good. And I think people don't give them, like I said, I've never had a problem with their DBs. I think the linebackers played better last week, and that's what showed up. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to show up like that on the Vikings. Because, like one-on-one with the receiver, I don't know if they can do that. Like, I'm not saying they're not going to, but I'm just saying that you can't expect 5-6 sacks from this defense. And you got it last week, and this should have been a game you won. Like, if you look at the second half numbers were ridiculous for San Diego, and they still won this game.
Yeah, Arnold Ebiketie stepping up with 2 sacks. It doubled. He's got 3 on the year. He had 2 on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. I know we've talked about third down conversions and how important they are. The Falcons were 3rd of 14 on third down, and the Chargers were 3rd of 11.
So the Chargers.
Why you get 3rd of 11 and 3rd
of 11? Sorry.
Why you said 3 of?
three of, because I'm trying not to say fuck up my 4 and my 14 in there.
You said
I gotta shape
third
my font
of
really small to fit it all on the screen.
I've never heard that 3rd of 14.
Well, it was 14 attempted third down, so 3rd of 3 of 14. Shut up.
Okay, there you go. You got me.
I'm tired, yo. I spent yesterday in the ER with my sick kid. Damn.
Hey, that was the 3rd of 14. I'm like, what?
So, Amanda, this is why I've been feeling the Chargers all season long. Jim Harbaugh's come in there and completely changed their identity, and they're not blowing teams out to what John is saying. Hear me out, though. They're not blowing anybody out. They're not winning sexy. They're not putting up 40 points. But what they're doing is they're playing ball control, and they're not turning the ball over. And check out this stat. I heard this today. Justin Herbert joins Tom Brady and Drew Brees as the only quarterbacks, I think, in NFL history to not throw an interception in 10 straight games. He's protecting the football. He's not, and this is interesting for.
Hey, your mic went dead.
That's why they had all the sacks, though, because he was holding the ball. Like
he was holding the ball, and
I think he was playing up to that. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes when they like, oh, I ain't threw a pick, because I was watching how long he was holding the ball, and it was ridiculous. It
He
made
was
no sense.
worried about throwing a pick. That stat is in his head. He was going for that.
There you go. There you go. Like when you know you're a quarterback, I ain't threw a pick in so long. Like I said, they had 5 sacks, and I was looking like this is not the team. When they had the 3 sacks so simple, I was just like something ain't right. I'm like, this is the Falcons team, so this ain't supposed to go like this. But I think San Diego is going to be good next year. I think I think they need more receivers. Honestly, I think not saying they don't have a good receiving core. I believe in Herbert, but I just feel like holding that ball, like I just couldn't believe they got so many sacks. Because I'm not saying the D line is terrible, but if you watch the game, he was like literally, it wasn't like somebody was just beating him off and stuff like that.
No, I agree. I mean, 19 yards lost on those sacks too. So it wasn't like they were like he was running for it and they, caught him on a 1 yard loss. Like those were pretty solid on average. But it's so funny because looking at this score, like you expect exactly what their rushing and receiving yards. 56 yards rushing, 150 yards receiving. Like not a lot of offensive output in this game, but both defenses did okay.
Yeah.
I'm back now. I don't know what just happened, but so did you not hear any of my rant?
Nope.
We heard the first part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We can keep on going, but Justin Herbert's been impressing me, and the Chargers are going to win a playoff game.
My favorite person in this game was Ladd McConkey. He is really showing up. I like the rookie, 117.
Everybody loves that guy.
He's just
How about the rookie corner Tarheeb Still too, with 2 interceptions in this game also?
Yeah, there was I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, John, your Falcons will be all right. I mean, I
don't think so because it's not a consistent team. That's the only thing that bothers me. Kurt, like you ever heard, like you can't really put this kind of stuff on paper. Like this is the kind of stuff that coming from a bye week, 3 straight loss. I'm like, man, like you saying they'll be okay because of the NFC South. But I'm talking about, sure they might make the playoffs, but I mean,
but not contenders. Yeah.
No consistency.
Are you looking to move to Penix soon, or how are you seeing that? Like next year, or what?
I can't see it happening this year. I think they're gonna get their money's worth out of Kirk Cousins. And I can't see you benching somebody that's got a guarantee like 100 mil sitting over there. Like you're gonna get 1 year. Penix, I know you want to play, bro, but it wouldn't make sense for me economically unless you got Tom Brady behind you. You got lucky and he came and just won a Super Bowl for you. But I can't see Penix being that guy that's gonna flip it like that.
Well, and I think Kirk Cousins' play is gonna dictate that. He has another couple games with 4 picks. We'll see Penix out there sooner than later, but I don't think Cousins is going to continue to struggle. I expect him to bounce back. I think, Amanda, to your point, I think he plays much better next week.
Yeah, I think he was looking ahead to the Minnesota game. And also, I'm intrigued about that game because I don't believe Minnesota's a 9-2 team. I feel like they're like accidentally winning. I don't think they would go very far in the postseason. At least not intentionally. Like if another team gives them the win, sure. So I'm very intrigued because I feel like Atlanta wants to win. And I feel like Minnesota doesn't care. So this matchup intrigues me because I don't know what either of these teams really are. Because like Atlanta will play amazing and then throw 4 picks in the next week. Like we've seen them be really scrappy on the sidelines and fight for their wins. And then also just like whatever the hell this week was. So I feel like they were just getting sick of the losses and looking ahead to Minnesota and maybe thought this game was going to be easier than it was.
Stop saying they. It was only one person.
Captain Kirk.
There was only one person. Like honestly, I'm trying to be on Kirk's side, but it was the whole team played well. Like the O-line played well, Bijan played well, defense played outstanding, and it was Kirk just having a bad effing day.
Yeah. Let's go to your other team, John, the Jets, who have fired the GM, fired the head coach, dealt with injuries. They jump out to a 21-7 lead in this game, but blow it and lose 26-21 at home to the Seahawks. The season's done in New York, so you're kind of looking to the future. It looks like Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be back. How would you like to see this team? You think they're going to rebuild or they're going to bring in a new GM, new head coach, new identity?
Yeah, they don't have a choice to do that. One thing I know I never want to see again is Aaron Rodgers try to throw a block. That was like I understand you want to like he didn't help the play at all, but with the Jets, I mean the hiring of Mike Tannenbaum I think really is going to help. They hired them to look for a GM, and Mike Tannenbaum, he was there when I was there, so
Okay.
I know Mike personally. So and he's one of those guys that are super intelligent. Like he looks just like a regular guy that'll be sitting in a restaurant or a bar just laughing and having. But if you sit there and talk football about it, if you talk about sports, you talk about what coordinates you need to put together to have a great team. He was the one that traded me to the Falcons, so I've always loved Mike. I always will love Mike. He didn't try to handicap me. He didn't try to make me feel like I was bad. The first thing he did, get the hell on there. If you want to leave, get the hell on. But I think he's a personal guy. He knows what kind of guy that Woody likes, but he also knows Woody's going to have to play outside of that now. Like it's no more of like, no more showboat shit, no more this like that. We got to go find a guy that's going to be cut dry, basically great, and we got to make sure that he's like I said, it might be out of the realm of Woody now. That's why because think about it, you wouldn't have hired somebody you fired to try to find somebody for you. Yeah. So it's okay, because I think Mike kind of like tells him like, get Darrelle Revis, get these guys, get these certain guys that you might not want to spend money on. Like he didn't want to spend money on me, didn't want to spend money on Sean Hill, didn't want to spend money on Jonathan Vilma, didn't want to spend money on Revis at the end of his career. It's just like they don't like spending money on defensive players. But, you're going to have to pay Sauce. You're going to have to pay Williams Brothers, which you already did. You're going to have to, load up on that defense. And whatever you bring on offense, just be ready. With, I guess, the loss of Beckham, or whatever his name is, like the loss of him. So it's a lot of stuff that they're going to have to put back in there. But being a Jets player and trying to be a Jets fan now because I'm older now and I can let all that shit go, the city needs for them to really focus on a quarterback this year that can be there for 10 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds bad but for Amanda, it doesn't sound bad because she understands the longevity of quarterbacks and having one quarterback in the same regime, win or lose, whether you win a Super Bowl this year, you have a good quarterback that can always keep you in the mix. Is going to change the outset of that whole thing, but they got to stick with a quarterback. They got to stick with the good and the bad. And they got to find somebody that's consistent. I think Mike Tannenbaum is going to start from maybe the janitor all the way up. He might just have a janitor there. He might have just take everybody to start. Everybody kind of wants to just say, Woody, just give away the team. Because not saying it, everybody in New York know Woody was really not a football guy, and now he's a football guy he's trying to be a more fan-friendly guy wearing a Woody chain and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the team is looking like
either you're good at this or you're not.
You have great players and a terrible team. I told my daughter that today when I was riding home, and I know it sounds stupid, but me and my daughter their team got beat 70-19 yesterday.
Damn.
I'm like, baby, you a good player, right? Yeah. I said, why you play like shit then? I said, just because you're getting your teammates are not playing good, that don't mean you can't play good. And it seems like with the they have so many good players, but they're just not a good team. That's
Start calling her Devontae Adams. Start calling your daughter Devontae Adams.
Oh, don't say that.
I think Aaron Rodgers should retire this week.
He's coming back.
No, he should retire this week because the longest interception return by a 300+ pound player ever.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
That was an athletic ass move.
I would never be back on the field again. Big man picks.
Williams did that though. You gave me that.
Leonard Williams fucking rumbled, man.
Yeah,
that was
2 sacks and a 92-yard pick six. That's
what you was just talking about, doing stuff on your old team. That is a highlight that you can he's going to talk about that for the rest of it.
That was fucking beautiful. His first career touchdown too. He was.
That's crazy.
Longest TD ever by a 300-pound player. Good for him. But Aaron Rodgers just go to the old people's home. You're good.
Well, he's about
to pick up Aaron Rodgers next year is what I want to know. After this season, who the fuck is going to be like, you know what? Let's drink some ayahuasca. We'll bring you on. It'll be a good fit.
He better go. He need to go back to Jeopardy. I loved him on Jeopardy. He was fucking awesome on Jeopardy.
He's going to have a great post-NFL career.
He definitely going to have a great, but that Jeopardy was, I was like, hey, Aaron, stay.
He's good too, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he and Mike McDaniels would be a very interesting pair together. together.
Really?
Ooh, Miami, huh?
I'm not saying they'd be
I
good.
was
It would
thinking.
just be very
I
entertaining
promise you, I
to
was
watch
thinking
them on
Miami.
the sidelines.
I was thinking Miami too. I ain't thought y'all was gonna be.
Can you picture them
I
going
didn't
back and
think y'all was
forth?
gonna agree with it.
Like,
That's why I didn't say Miami. I was thinking Miami in my head, so I ain't gonna say it because I'm gonna sound stupid.
like I don't know if they would, if it would be successful, but it would be entertaining as fuck. Like Mike McDaniels, who like has gotten less white each season, and like he wants to be one of the guys. And Aaron Rodgers
Man,
is just like this conspiracy theorist, like alien. Like I would be so entertained by that. Like I want like them mic'd up together every game if that ever happens.
should the Dolphins be bringing him back? That's my question. Mike McDaniel, they're
Yeah,
five
yeah,
and seven, and
yeah,
Yeah, but their quarterback
yeah,
hasn't played a full season
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, they had Tua and got blown out the playoffs last year.
He's gonna be
I'm
back.
not a Mike McDaniel guy.
You gotta get
no.
you gotta get him this year. You know how it is.
All
They gave they
right.
gave Aaron, they gave Aaron all last year, so they gotta give. But
Yeah,
they
I
did
think he
kick
gets another
Salah out
one.
quick though. They kicked Salah out quick though. They gave him last.
That's a fair.
Let's go real quick. Colts, Patriots. Not a lot to talk about here except for the Colts finding a way to get the win. They went for two at the end, and Anthony Richardson
Ballsy.
punched it in. Yeah, ballsy. Shane
Down one.
Steichen.
Could have tied it and taken it to overtime. 2-point conversion.
I'm not a fan of that though. That's Shane Steichen. He's going to be aggressive all the time. I mean, it cost him the division last year. It worked out against New England, but I don't see that working against better teams.
No. I was
But
annoyed. I was sure they were going to miss it, and then I would have a perfect
I
week.
would have loved it.
If it weren't for that
But
two fucking point conversion, I would have a perfect pick week, and I'm real sad. So
but Anthony Richardson is a beast. I mean, John, do you think? I mean, his percentage has been low. He got benched because he took himself out. Do you think Anthony Richardson will figure it out? He could be a star, a real good player if he can get it all together.
Yeah, I think he will be a great player in the next couple of years. You know, hopefully he don't get sidetracked with
Yeah.
football. Because I think with all his physical ability, sometimes people overlook. You know, just like not saying he'll be a Jamarcus Russell. So I don't want to say it like that. But you know, sometimes when kids are young, they have that physical ability. You know, they think they kind of already made it. They're that guy. We got to see him like really become a quarterback. If that
Yeah.
makes it's pretty much physical proud. Like one person I do feel bad for is Gerard Mayo. Now, is he gonna be back next year? That's a big thing for me because not saying the Patriots are shitty, but they are shitty, and he called his team soft, and it's like I can see him getting replaced. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
For 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not like not saying the Patriots have been they got a different regime now. You know, you used to Patriots being at least competitive, and at least you had like you could blame Bill Belichick, but Mayo, you
Rookie
call
head
your team
coach
off.
and struggling. And Amanda, oftentimes when you got a young quarterback developing, you go offensive side of the ball for a head coach.
yep.
Might be what my Bears are doing too. So we'll see. Maybe New England does that.
Yeah.
Um,
What entertained me about this game is the Patriots were better than the Colts in almost like 422 total net yards to 253. There's almost a
yeah.
200-yard difference there. And they had the ball for 9 minutes longer than the Colts. And what's even funnier to me, because I love when teams lose after putting up big numbers. New England's 422 total yards, the most they've had in a game since 2022 when they lost to the Ravens. So they only put up
Wow.
400 yards when they lose.
That's
If they're
crazy.
putting up 400 or more yards, just expect it to be a loss for some reason. It's weird.
That's a good stat though. It's cool when you have stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. But let's go to Cardinals Vikings. Cardinals jump out to a 19-6 lead, but the Vikings win 23-22. First career 13-point comeback win for Sam Darnold. John, are you buying the Vikings? They're what, 10-2? They're 10-2. They won 5 straight. Tough game against Atlanta coming up, but like I have a hard time taking this Vikings team seriously. I don't know if it's Sam Darnold or what.
I think they're able to find a way to win, and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard not to take a team serious that's 10-2.
Yeah.
And Falcons playing like they're 6-6, and they're playing like a 4-10 team right now. So they're
Mm-hmm.
not playing well at all. I mean, like you're looking at the records, 3 straight losses, and you lost before the bye week, then you lose after the bye week. Like for me, that's just saying a lot about the team. Like I don't know if they're tired, I don't know if they're drained, but I don't want to blame Kirk for this loss, but it's Kirk. I mean, you're the guy. So, and I think they're not saying they're the same quarterback, but it's the same quarterback that's trying to prove something. Mm-hmm. So I think both of them are going to come out ready to play. I think it's going to be an exciting game. But I think whoever is the most consistent, and I haven't seen the Vikings be inconsistent when it comes to throwing. I mean, they haven't had that kind of game. Like they played shitty, but they haven't, like they still found a way to win. Even when they lost the 2 losses, it wasn't like it was. So I'm just kind of scared about Kurt. I know I keep like it's just because they playing the Vikings. It's just.
I'm excited about that matchup.
One thing I was saying about the Falcons, and I'll let you talk, man. One thing I was saying about the Falcons is they don't have any fire. Mm-hmm. Like if you watch the games, you don't have a receiver catching the ball, getting there, spinning the ball. Like they don't have any intimidation factor. Even on defense, they don't have intimidation factor. I was talking to Eric Wings, and we was just sitting at a restaurant, and I was like, man, they ain't got no fire. Like there's no dogs on the deep. You got Grady Jarrett like out here just trying to run like a chicken with his head cut off, but it's like no other energy you can find anywhere else. The only energy you have is when Kurt swags and surfs. Besides that, you don't have any energy. Like we don't have no players that you can be like, oh, I want to see that guy this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about how Atlanta's defense got 5, 6 sacks this past week.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold was sacked 5 times for a loss of 30 yards, an average of 6 yards lost per sack. So I mean, they pulled off a win here, and I think it was in spite of that O-line because Sam Darnold was getting beat up here, and then pulling off a win here. I do think knowing the O-line performed like it did against Arizona, I think Atlanta's defense stands a pretty solid chance of getting some turnovers, some forced fumbles and stuff there if they play. I mean, they had 5 sacks against a worse defense or worse O-line.
John, here's what I'll tell you. Me and Amanda know Kirk Cousins well from being in the division a long time. I'll give you a little background of me. I'm a Michigan State fan, and I watched Kirk Cousins live like 4 times at Michigan State. I watched him in the Big Ten championship game. I've always been rooting for this guy. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, he's not going to do that again. He doesn't have consecutive bad games. I think he's going to he might play the best game of the season against Minnesota. That going against your old team.
He's going to have a you like that game.
Yeah, I give Atlanta a good shot to win this game, actually. I really do. Can he win a Super Bowl? Probably not. But he can get you to the playoffs, and I think I'm going to pick the Falcons to win that game, honestly. But we'll see. He better not throw 4 picks again. I know that. Otherwise, they got no shot.
If he throw 4 picks, they gotta take him out and put Penix in for the rest of the year because he's burnt out.
Yeah.
Like because the interception he threw weren't like tipped.
No,
they were straight to the wrong.
They were literally his fault. Like it wasn't one pick that he threw that was like, oh darn. It was like, no, that was strictly his fault. It wasn't like it got tipped, the receiver like they ran the wrong route. It was just like we sit here and wait for the ball, and I don't know if he's gonna be ready. I don't know if his arm's gonna be ready. I think that Minnesota is gonna come into this game we're playing a 6-6 team. Like, let's go kick their ass. We don't, and I think Minnesota is gonna bring their defense to play. Like they're gonna blitz the shit out of them.
Yeah, he's gonna have them ready to go. Well, it's gonna be a great game though. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And let's wrap it up with Steelers at Bengals. I picked the Bengals in this game. Amanda picked the Steelers. Amanda was right, and everyone's looking at the Bengals like, when are you gonna wake up? I know you started slow. That defense is non-existent. And I don't know what happened to Lou Anarumo's defense, but it's just not there anymore. And shout out to Russell Wilson, Amanda. He balled out in this game. He was on fire. Some of the throws he made were unguardable.
He had some amazing throws in this game. And it's funny, too, because people act like Russell was like washed last year, but he was having a perfectly fine season.
Just the national media narrative. He's a good quarterback, still is.
Yeah, like his numbers were perfectly fine, but people are acting like he's come back from something. No, Like he was fine last year. His personality and Sean Payton's didn't mesh well together, and he had
Yep.
a massive contract they were trying to kind of dissipate. So I don't know why people are acting shocked. Like Russ has never balled out before. Like
Yeah, I think he's in the best place possible. Like,
I have Russell Wilson PTSD like a mother as a Packers fan. So like, no, this man has played well before. I don't know why people are acting like they're new. Like he had a great game, 410 passing yards. I mean, we didn't see the rushing Russell like we've seen in the past before. He only had 3 rushing yards. I do think his age is showing a little bit, but his accuracy is increasing. He trusts his receivers. I love that receiving core for him. I think
John,
him
I
and
think
Pickens,
I think there's this team's going to be dangerous in the playoffs. With that defense and Russell Wilson, he's won before. They could go on a deep run.
I do agree with
them.
that. I think the big problem the Bengals have, and it's going to sound stupid, but me being in the locker room when they do people a certain way, how they did Jamar Chase, not paying him, I think it literally went through the whole locker room because it's different when you have your star player coming in and you know he's not really there. He's playing his ass off and they still not paying him. The whole locker room really does feel that. Like no matter what you're saying, and they seeing how everybody else got played, and everybody except Burrow, pretty much. Everybody else is kind of like, well, I'm gonna go play my ass off, and they still might not pay me. And so it's a scary situation, and I think that has a lot to do with the morale and thing. Because we've had players, we be looking like, "Dang, they ain't gonna pay him." I remember Malloy he was one of the good players in our team, but he was like, "They ain't want to pay me, bro." And it really trickles down. Like even in practice, you see people getting mad. Like Jamar just like calming down now because he putting numbers up. But at the beginning of the year, he was like pissed off all the time. So he probably got in fights in practice. He probably not coming in like the happy guy he was. And he was down. But even with Higgins, like they're probably Higgins' boy too. So Higgins like, they ain't want to pay him. They ain't gonna pay me. Like then so it's like everybody in the locker room is just kind of like, Joe's the only one secure. We're sitting out here running around, so it's kind of scary when you like don't know like whether you're going to get the big deal or not, and it does trickle down to the whole team, whether people know it or not.
Bengals ownership is notorious for that, being cheap and not wanting to pay their guys. Have you guys seen the AFC North Hard Knocks episode yet?
No, you sent it to me earlier. I'll get around to it at some point.
That is great. You guys got to check that out. And Joe Burrow on there said that he bought the Batmobile. So I'm interested to see that. That'd be pretty cool. But
driving his Batmobile too much. I do want to say something about Russ. We have seen Russ in the past. If he makes a mistake early in a game, it comes back to haunt him for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
His third pass in this game was a pick 6. And he fucking rallied. I think the coaching there with Tomlin in charge, like Tomlin,
Mike Tomlin is so
forget
good.
what the fuck happened. Focus. Like next play. That play didn't matter. History doesn't count. It's what we do next. Right. I think they're such a good fit together. Because Russ gets in his head. He did not stumble. The very next play, 7 plays, touchdown. And it wasn't a clean game. We had 2 Joe Burrow fumbles, a missed field goal for the Steelers. 3 pick 6s in this game, or 3 turnovers for touchdowns. Anyway, but it was a messy game, but both teams played and showed up. But I love the pairing of Russell Wilson coming back from that early mistake, because I think that just shows how much growth he's had and how good of a fit he is under Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
Tomlin does that too.
Mike Tomlin is the shit, and on that Hard Knocks, you get a good perspective of Mike Tomlin's coaching and stuff too. He's so good. Him working with George Pickens one-on-one after a mistake and stuff like that. You can't say enough about how good of a coach he is. T.J. Watt balling out, 2 sacks and a forced fumble in this game. He's got 9.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. Steelers 9-3. A rematch against the Browns, looking to go to 10-3. How about Bengals Cowboys on Monday Night Football? That's an interesting matchup. You guys aren't impressed with that one, huh?
Not really.
I think the Bengals will get a win.
Yeah.
Finally.
I think the Cowboys might slip it simply because they're on a roll now, and they actually acting like they're winners again, even though they season is shitty as hell. But, every time they get a win, it's like for the Cowboys, they're like, oh, we're back. So I think the Cowboys might have the better squad. The Bengals should win. I think the Bengals should win, but I don't
Cooper Rush. It's hard to beat Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush.
His winning percentage, he's balling.
For the past 4 weeks though, the Bengals have put up 35 to 40 points almost every week though.
And
Like,
Mark-
yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't been winning as many, but I think the Bengals will pull it off. 38 points against a great defense, 27 points against a really solid defense with the Chargers. 1 point shy of the Bengals
Parsons,
or the
3
Ravens.
sacks.
What?
Parsons gonna have 3 sacks.
Micah.
Mm,
Yeah, we'll see if the Cowboys defense can do it. That's been my thought process with Cincy this whole time is
3
the
sacks.
offense can put up enough points to overcome the bad defense, and they just haven't been able to do it. And those turnovers cost them against Pittsburgh. So now let's wrap it up on this. Thursday night football coming up tomorrow night. Amanda's Packers 9-3 Green Bay at the 11-1 Lions. Detroit on a 10-game winning streak. Green Bay on a 3-game winning streak. The Lions without left tackle Taylor Decker. The Packers without Edgerrin
Oh.
Cooper, Jair
You're missing a
Alexander,
bunch of people for Detroit.
and Romeo Dobbs.
Onwazur Ricky, I don't even know how to say his name. They've got 3 other
DJ
players on
Reader as
defense.
well. Yeah, their
Yeah.
D line is missing 3 guys in Detroit.
Marshall's out, DJ Reader's out. Carlton Davis is supposed to be back, but the Packers
Yeah, he's back.
are missing everybody. I mean,
Well,
Cooper,
they're missing
Corey
4 guys.
Ballentine, Jair, Romeo Dobbs, and Dontavian Wicks has a 25% drop rate, and he's Dobbs' replacement. That's the highest drop rate a Packers receiver has had since 2009 with James Jones. He was 22%. Like, the fact that Dontavian Wicks still is playing, yes, that's his name until he corrects that number. Droptavian, I said it.
Octavian.
Droptavian. It's right there, man. Like, it was just too easy. But I am gonna take the Packers in this because I'm an idiot.
There you go. You're smartening up. I like to see it.
No, it's a 20-game lead. I'm pretty comfy. But I do think that the Packers will do literally anything they can to avoid the Lions sweeping them this season.
Yeah.
I do think Detroit is the more whole team, but their defense might be injured enough to let us slip one by. So it might be a blowout. Green Bay might lose by 30 points, but I'm gonna take Green Bay and just cross everything.
This is why I can't gain any ground, John, because once Amanda is picking the Packers, I can't disagree with her here.
He can't pick the Lions. He's allergic. Breaks out in hives if he picks Detroit to win a game.
John, are you picking the Lions at home?
Yeah.
Everybody should pick the Lions at home. I just
No
can't
one
do
should
it.
pick the Lions.
Yeah. I'm picking the Lions.
I'm gonna find a Packers jersey, put it on for the first time ever. Go Green Bay. They're not getting swept by the Lions. The Lions are so overrated, guys. Let's be real.
Okay.
I can't even say that they're overrated. I want them to lose this game so bad.
I don't know why that. The overrated is blasphemous.
They're good.
That's
Like,
diabolical.
they're so
Well,
good. Like I
No,
love
they're damn good. They're damn good. They're not going to the Super Bowl, but they're damn good. They're a good team, and they should win this game at home. But
that's kind of my thing. They should win it at
Yeah.
home. But they've won 10 straight.
they should have lost last week.
There's a chance that they're starting to get a little cocky, and they almost lost to the Bears.
Yeah. In Green Bay, we trust. John's taking the
Green Bay
Lions.
barely beat the Bears, and then the Lions almost lost to them. So maybe.
Yeah. But good stuff, guys. Good shit as always. Appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Tell us we're crazy for picking the Packers. We're gonna be right. And anybody but Cliff Kingsbury and Kellen Moore Bears, hire the right guy for once in your life. And that's all I gotta say. Kirk Cousins bounce back, beat the Vikings. And peace out.